I just want to, before we get started, point out something. So one of our last videos, one of the reels that we made, sort of took off, and it.
Can you explain why it took off? A little backstory.
All right. Well, we're talking about PC gaming.
Yep.
I was talking about how it's inconvenient.
You started a race war. You know that, right?
I didn't want to start a race war because I play both sides.
The way that clip comes about clearly shows you're picking console gaming over PC.
I'm not picking console gaming over PC because, one, I PC game more than I console lately. So a lot of what I pointed out was the friction that you experience when you go from console to PC. So when you're in a PC, you have like this all-in-one package, right?
Yeah.
It's a productivity tool. You can play games on it. You can watch movies on it. You can do whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you're going to have trade-offs that you don't need to make while on Xbox or on PS5. And people are talking about like, hey, use Steam or why don't you have auto update on?
Yeah.
So
which is true. You could just use auto update, which is a feature.
The clip shows those as few examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily disagree, right?
With what?
With using the Steam.
Okay.
And using
with
auto
the solutions
update.
they gave you. Okay.
Yeah, the solutions. Yeah, all those are things that I use Steam mostly.
Yeah.
For all my games. And then I go to Xbox, and on the Xbox app, I have Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So I'll play the games on Game Pass that you can't find on Steam or that are free that I don't need to use Steam for.
Yeah.
And auto update, I get that, right? The only thing is I don't... Those are a few of the smaller points that I've made in the video that I've only included in the reel. Mm-hmm. There's a long list of pros and cons for both PC and Xbox. Mm-hmm. Huge cons for Xbox. I have no control over my game. I can't think about how do I say this? There are different ways in which I can tweak how my PC will handle a game. Mm-hmm. So like, let's say, I have a low running rig, right? Mm-hmm. Not many powerful parts in it. I can run the game on low settings, right? If I'm on the Xbox One, the original that came out in 2013, mm-hmm. I can't just say, run everything in low, resolution or anything like that. The developers choose that for me. Mm-hmm. They optimize the game for me. They choose what they want to prioritize for me.
Yeah.
Right? The only other system really that, when compared to PC, you can tweak anything you want. The resolution, the frames, the frame cap. Yeah. There's an immense array of options. So I don't want to knock the console, or I don't want to knock the PC too much.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that when people say PC master race, there are a lot of things. There's a lot of maintenance you have to do when it comes down to a PC.
Can I say a few things?
Sure.
So see, this is the thing. In my argument that I bring up, it's called a master race for a reason, for me at least, because like you said, it's not just for gaming. I use it for photography. I have Lightroom on it, right? I can use it for video editing. I have DaVinci Resolve on it. I could go on Netflix. I could go on Hulu, whatever. I can look at emails. I can, if you have dual monitors, you can literally watch something while playing video games if you're into that type of stuff, right? I could be streaming and playing a game. I know you could probably do that with Xbox like now and like PlayStations and everything as well, but it's pretty much like an all-in-one. And you're right. There's a lot of things you're giving up. With if you want it to be just simple, I'm not saying Xbox is as simple as for like dimwits or anything, but it's just it's plug and play. You plug the Xbox in, put the game in, play it. That's it. You don't have to tweak anything. With games, it's like when you play a game, you might want to go into the settings first, and tweak the graphics settings a little bit, to suit your play style. But that being said, it's not like that bad, considering that it's not just something that you play games on. It's something that you could, write. Like, say you have schoolwork, you could write essays on in Microsoft Word. Say you have emails, like I said, look at emails. You want to apply to jobs, you could do that. You could literally do everything what you do on a computer, but it's just also you could play games on it. So, and also the other benefit is, like you said, Steam and Xbox Game Pass, right? When the Steam sale comes out, these games are like 90% off. And these are like blockbuster games too, most of them. So you kind of get a very good discount on buying video games than if you were to like just buy them off Xbox Marketplace. I know they're probably like doing sales and deals now, like I guess to compete with like Steam and everything, but they aren't in the same like discount range as Steam offers. And the thing is, there's other things besides Steam, like Humble Bundle. You could pay like $15 and get like 20 games. So there's a reason why people call it the master race. You are like I agree with you. There are things you're giving up, but in the long run, at least for me, I think the things I gave up don't even matter to me all that much anymore.
Yeah, and by the way, the same pros that you're mentioning are the same reasons why I'm on PC.
Yeah,
I just don't want people to think that, because when I think of master race, that's regarding gaming, right? Okay. Whereas what you've mentioned were things outside of gaming that it can do. I get the all-in-one aspect of a PC.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, gaming consoles are becoming more all-in-one like. The whole concept of the Xbox One, they called it that because it was the all-in-one Xbox One, right? They were trying to make it that entertainment platform, that all-in-one experience. You have your browser, you can go look at your NFL games while playing Madden.
Real quick.
But I don't want to stray away from the point that I can go into a game faster with my Xbox or PS5 than with an Xbox. The Xbox has,
or with a PC, you mean?
I'm sorry, I can get into a game faster with my Xbox than with my PC.
Okay, yeah.
Because one, Xbox has the sort of, I don't even know what the feature they call it. It's the quick start, where you can hop on a game, or you can play a game, get off, turn off your Xbox, turn it back on, and you can hop right back into that game. You can also, I think up to like 2 or 3 games, switch between different games and pick up where you left off in those same 3 games. I can't do that on my PC. I literally, and then not only that, and so when I talk about the software that people, that is the main form of friction for me. Having the Steam app, having the anti-cheat apps, because you're going to get hacked when you go into most of these online games.
Yeah.
Right? It's the amount of layers between the system and the game itself.
Okay.
Right? I mentioned, like with the Valorant, I have to boot up the Riot app, Riot client in order to play Valorant.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's really what I was trying to drive the point home. And then concluding with the fact that it only costs me $500, and you could probably get a good deal on it now for the Xbox Series X that has, which people were saying in the comments, 4K capability with 120 frames per second support.
Yeah.
Which Microsoft has verified. But game developers don't utilize.
Okay.
You don't see much of that. There's a lot of games upscale. I get all that.
Yeah.
A lot of games don't do 4K. They might, or a lot of games don't do 120 frames per second. I understand that. A lot of games lock in at 60 frames per second with a 1080p experience.
Yeah.
But the hardware in that Series X is capable of running 6 or up to 8K apparently. I just researched it with up to 120 frames per second.
I wanted to go back just to, because I haven't been on Xbox in so long. Xbox One was the one that came out. You said 2013, right? The one that was the one with the Kinect.
Yeah.
I'm not the 360 Kinect. I'm talking about the Xbox One Kinect, right? Do they still have the thing? Because I remember it was really cool back when it first came out. Where you like plug in your cable HDMI or something, and you could just watch your cable TV from Can you still do that on Xbox?
No, they turned that off.
Oh,
and they don't have it on the new Xboxes.
Why not?
Because no one used it.
Really? See, the thing is, I'll be honest, there were features that they brought, or they had in old gaming systems that were just, like, above their time. Like, I remember on Xbox 360, they had the Netflix party chat or party watch. That was the most revolutionary thing ever. Forget about, like, cross-compatible, like, a cross-play. Like, I could play with people on PlayStation or PC, whatever. Forget that. No. Like, the Netflix, like, people don't understand how, like, revolutionary that was. I could watch movies. And you remember, it was, like, it'd be you, me, and a couple of other friends. And we would just watch a movie on Netflix. They don't do things like that. Like, and the thing is, even on PC, like, it's very, like, I shouldn't say hard, but I know, like, Hulu has something like that where you give someone, like, a URL and they join the party. But the way that, like, Xbox had that on lock, I think back then I would have been like, yeah, I think Xbox is the better system because it had all these capabilities. Because I can do all those things. I can do, you know, I can watch my movies and stuff with my friends, play games, all that sort of stuff. And then I think they made it even better. Well, they got rid of that, the Netflix thing in the 360, but I think they improved a little bit on the Xbox One. But now that you're telling me you don't have that anymore, so I don't know what to think.
If you look at each generation, there's one sort of explosive thing that Microsoft has done.
Mm-hmm.
For the original Xbox, okay, and this is what they need to do for the next Xbox going forward. The original Xbox One,
mm-hmm.
the Xbox literal number one, the original.
The big old black one, right?
The original Xbox needs an IP like Halo, Combat Evolved.
Yeah.
Okay? That's number one.
Yeah.
For the 360 era,
mm-hmm.
they need better app integration with core Xbox features, just like Netflix watch parties.
Mm-hmm.
For the Xbox One,
mm-hmm.
they need something that is like a peripheral like Kinect.
Yeah.
But isn't a camera watching you the whole time.
Yeah.
And brings in the entertainment pieces of what Xbox One was trying to do,
mm-hmm.
but less in your face.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, with the Xbox Series X, bringing the full backward compatibility of games
mm-hmm.
to the next platform. That's what Microsoft needs to do next.
Actually, you know, I just realized they should bring back the Kinect camera, and I'm not sure if this was. I'm probably mixing like the videos I've seen on it. It was probably some other VR headset thing, but I think they should bring back the Kinect in the new Xbox and implement some sort of VR. Because the Kinect was fantastic. I remember you and I were freaking blown away by the Skype video camera. We'd play GTA and then we'd be like, all right, get on Skype real quick. And it had that thing where you walk around and it follows you.
You know, I think right now we're not in a space where we can really utilize the, I guess, motion tracking form of entertainment.
What do you mean?
So with Kinect, it was, you know, a camera looking at you and you're doing all these gestures to do things in the game. We're not fully there yet. I mean, we are, but I don't think it's fun enough. Where I do think we are, and this has been proven with like 2 or 3 different technologies now, is augmented reality.
Yeah.
With goggles or with some sort of like, I don't want to say glasses, but something that's like not heavy like a helmet, but not too small like glasses, right? It needs to immerse me in the experience, sort of like what Apple has done with the
well, yeah, they could do something like that with the Kinect. Like, I feel like they should have the Kinect so it's reading your background and everything, and it knows like the parameters of like whatever glasses or headset thing you put on.
But the difference between Kinect, right? Kinect, you're still watching it on the TV screen. I want the screen to be in my face.
No, that's what I'm saying. It would be on your headset. But the Kinect would be like the TV screen would be on, so whoever's like, you know, say you have your friends watching you play, they can see what you're doing on the screen, right? But the Kinect itself would be like looking at the measurements of the room and everything, and making sure like everything in your like goggles or whatever that you're wearing is like, you know, in ratio with your surroundings. I feel like, cause I remember the HTC, was it HTC? I think they had a VR like that where they had like 2-3 different like I guess receivers. Can't really remember. It was like a while back, and they would basically like get a layout of your room, so it would know like.
What do you think like AR, VR, hybrid reality, like that technology is gonna go for gaming?
I'll be honest. You said AR, and it reminded me of one of the greatest things ever. Do you remember the PlayStation? Was it i2 or something? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it's a Kinect. Yeah.
But the thing, it was so simple. I had the i2. I don't remember. I can't remember what the name was, but it had like a bunch of games in it, and you put the camera on top of your TV, and then you control everything with your body, right? So you want to play like a game that's like on this side, you go like boop, with your hand. And I remember there was this game where it was like, one of the games was like boxing, and dude, it was so fun. I don't know why game developers or like these companies do these amazing things, and then it's like, all right, yeah, we're not like, I feel like if they worked on it since then, we would have been somewhere else now. I feel like they kind of do a little bit, then they stop for a couple of years. Oh, let's go back into it again. And
because they try new things and no one adopts it, they still go back to the controller form factor.
But look at Apple. They do things and they're like, we're forcing you to adopt to this. Like with the headphone jack. People are like, oh, we want the headphone jack. They're like, all right, cool. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Like, yeah, we don't care. Like, why don't, like, people hate Apple for that, right? Like, oh, Apple, they do all these things. But what phone do you have right now? You have the iPhone. What do you use for music? Majority of people use Apple Music. I know Spotify's out there, but people like you said with the gaming, it's just simple. Everything's, if you have a MacBook, you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, you're using Apple Music, everything's synced across.
Where do you see VR, AR, and hybrid reality in the future?
I hope it's a bigger thing, because
you think it's gonna be a bigger thing?
It should. I hope it is, because even remember with the Wii, like, you moved around a lot with it, right? And people wanted to get gamers to move, because it's like, oh, well, all we do is sit down and play a game like this, which is true. Even on the PC, Xbox, wherever you're playing, you're sitting down, you're not moving. But with these sort of things, it makes you get up and whether you're playing with the Wii or the Switch.
You know what's funny? It's funny you say that. The assumption is that we sit there and play games all day.
We figure out.
No, listen.
What?
The assumption is we sit there and play games all day, but sometimes I'm out all day.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is sit down and play a game. So like, I don't buy the whole, Nintendo when they came out with Wii. They did say that they want to get people to move, but I think that was a mischaracterization of what people think. That they're gonna that what gamers are actually doing. I feel like sometimes people go out and they're working construction, or they're in a truck and they're delivering food to someone across the country.
Yeah, but that's not their only demographic.
They just want to sit down and play.
No, that's really understandable, but I feel like, especially for because when you were a young kid, what did you do when you came back from school? You played video games, unless if your friends were outside, you guys rode bikes or whatever. But I think the time for that has long gone. I remember back when I was in high school, all the kids in the neighborhood would get together and play. And then I think when 3 or 4 of them got Xbox, I still had Xbox at the time, but I loved going outside. But as soon as 3 or 4 of them got Xboxes, they would just play online. And even us with college, we'd go out and hang out and stuff, but we'd socialize on Xbox. We go into the party chat and everything.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is I don't think it's there are people out there that are working and moving, and they want to just sit down and play a game, but and I'm not saying AR has to be something where you have to move around and do excruciating movements, running around sweating, but I think with the way Apple Vision is, the way it looks, that's not anything too in depth for us to in terms of movement, right? I think with video games, they're gonna in the future, I'm hoping they make it just integrate it really well. You're not gonna come back home from work and play an AR Call of Duty, right? You want to kind of relax, because it depends on how you feel, right? When you come back home, you're not say you had a really crazy day at work. You're not gonna boot up Age of Empires using even more brain power, do a bunch of micromanage. Like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to play something that's very low brain power. You're just relaxing, whatever it is, right? Same with the AR or VR type games in the future. You know, you're going to play based on how you're feeling. But that being said, I think everyone should go into that technology. I think it'd be so revolutionary. And I think that's the reason why, for at least me, gaming seems kind of like, I don't want to say stagnant, but I feel like since we were kids, we saw some crazy innovations with gaming, correct?
Even like Skylanders, but that wasn't when we were kids. But yeah,
I remember Sky. That's like where you put the little toy on the thing. Yeah, I mean,
that was cool.
It was all right, but I feel like we saw so much innovation as kids. Now it's like, what? I don't want, like, I think even like with PC, right? What's PC gonna give you? Just better graphics. What's Xbox gonna give you? Better graphics, right? Maybe better game, maybe new IP, but they would still, at least with Xbox or PlayStation, right? They would still have like those one-off little systems or little extra piece of hardware you'd attach and just revolutionize your gameplay. They need to do stuff like that again.
Well, think about it. The Xbox or even the PS5 had the, you know, haptic triggers.
Yeah.
Or whatever you call them, where they like, there's resistance when you pull down the trigger.
Yeah, yeah.
It has the trackpad that was taken from PS4. There's still, I think there's still the dual axis nature of it, so you can like, you know, shake the controller and it'll know that you shook it.
Yeah.
And like, really the Xbox just had vibration within the trigger. People just, I feel like people just want that like stationary legacy experience with gaming, and I feel like they just want better games and more variety of games. So they want the quadruple A's.
Yeah.
They want the good graphics. They want the good super sort of fun gameplay.
Yeah.
They want the low indie games like you know, Vampire Survivor.
Yeah.
They want all of that, but then packaged in a subscription service. I think we're gonna do more of that in the future.
I mean, yeah, you could just do Game Pass, which you and I both have, but how many times have you been on Game Pass? Or remember when Netflix first came out, you would watch like crazy things. Like, oh, this is so cool. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch that, right? At least I used to when I first got Netflix. I'm like, oh my God, what is this movie? I'm watching it now. I don't know. I'm just lazy now. I'm like, this doesn't look good. You could tell me it's good. You have to actually force me to watch a new show now. Like, no matter what the ratings or who's acting in it, for shows at least, right? I'm just like, is this even worth my time watching? I'd rather just rewatch the same old 7 shows I like watching, right? I feel like that's kind of happening with me in gaming too. Like, yeah, I have Game Pass, but I'm not downloading every single AAA that's coming on there and playing it. Maybe a few here and there. Like,
is gaming dead too?
Not dead, but I feel like since I've been playing since such a young age, I definitely want like something new.
You're burnt out?
I'm burned out. Like, because the thing is like this, when you were a kid, you weren't paying for video games. Maybe if you saved up your own money, allowance money, you bought like whatever, right? But it was like, you know, your parents paying for it, or whoever was older at the time was paying for it. And now, you know, it's our own money, and it's like, dang, this is an investment I'm making.
Yeah.
Is this going to be, you know, because I remember when I used to buy Assassin's Creed, I used to love that game. I remember I bought like the 3rd one, and I played it, and like I was a huge fan, right? So back when, like, you know, discs were actually a thing, GameStop would have the little like the deluxe packages, and it comes with like all the doodads and everything. So obviously I'm getting that. I'm a huge fan of the game, and I played it. I'm like, this was horrible. This wasn't a fun game. Like this, like I want more of the story. Like I feel like they didn't flesh out the story much, and in the end, it's like I paid my own money for this. It wasn't good. I felt like you guys missed the mark. I guess with the whole subscription-based thing is you don't feel as bad because you're paying like a small fee.
I was just gonna say you're looping right into the subscription argument.
But the thing is, like, even then, it's like, all right, but do I even want to play the game? You know, like I said, there's so many games on there.
What are you gonna do? Like, it's like, okay, you know, games are sort of dead to me. I don't want to buy them anymore. But now when they're free,
I need something new.
I don't want to download
I want a new
anymore.
experience. Like I don't want to just sit there and play on the controller. Like I'm trying to think.
You want to get a Kinect?
I'm saying that there needs to be some new revolution. All I'm saying is, since we were kids, we saw really cool revolutions in video games, right? We would see, fun different ways of gameplay happening. I guess I'm just waiting for that now. You ever seen Incredibles?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah.
You remember when that little kid on the tricycle is looking at him? He's like, "What are you waiting for?" It's like, "Oh no, something cool, I guess." That's me. I'm literally waiting something cool to happen. I don't know what it is. All I'm saying is,
if you took the games nowadays and brought them back in time to when you were a kid, you think you'd have as much fun with video games?
I was actually thinking they could probably make like a whole new like VR, AR type system.
Hold on.
What?
If you take the game library nowadays, right? Let's say for the last 5 years, and you take it and you bring it back in time to back when we were kids, would you have as much fun with video games?
The thing is, I never didn't have fun as a kid with video games because back then you didn't really have DLCs, right? Like the games you would buy were, that's it, like that's the complete game. So I never felt like, oh man, I wish I had more.
But you had fun playing games.
I never even would care about the game library because even back then we had like a good, like a variety of games to choose from, whether it was if you're playing on Nintendo or PlayStation or Xbox. But what I want to say is,
you didn't answer my question.
Would I have more fun?
Would you like? You had fun. You had fun playing games back in the day.
Yeah,
that's what got you in the game.
If you give me more games, would I have more fun?
No, not more games.
What?
Listen to what I'm saying. You take the game library as of 2025.
Yeah.
All the way back to 2015.
Yeah.
And you bring it back to 1995.
Are we keeping the same graphics or like
what? The same? No, it's like those graphics, but these games now. Would you like? Because is it that the games are not fun now, and that like, or is it?
No, the games aren't fun. Like I said, I'm the one buying these games now, right? There's that aspect.
Because you said Assassin's Creed.
I'm a lot older, right? I'm a lot older, so it's like because when you're young, you don't really care about time. Right, like, oh, I'm just gonna play a video game, whatever. I don't care, right? You're a lot older. You have other things to do, right? You have other things to take care of. So it's like all these other things. I'm not saying like gaming for me could be like boring, right? But gaming for someone who's 15 right now could be the greatest thing ever, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying gaming in all for everyone across the board is boring and is dead or whatever. What I'm saying is for me at least, and the reasons why I'm saying that is because I'm a lot older. I'm the one paying for these games. Right, I'm investing my time in these games.
But even if it's on Game Pass, you don't.
Even on Game Pass, like I'll play a game, but I'm trying to think. What's the last game I downloaded Game Pass and played?
Starfield.
Even then, I deleted. I didn't feel like completing it. That's the thing. The last game I felt like
if you had time, like back in the days.
Oh, definitely. Like if I was young again.
So the games are like you're just growing out of games just because of the fact that you don't have time.
It's not just growing out of game. It's just like. Give me something worth my time. That's what I'm saying. For me, at least. And
I guess my argument is I think a lot of games now are doing a lot of things different and are building new experiences than back in the days. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it you're trying to see? Or what is it that you don't see?
It's not that, like, I just want something... everything is subjective, basically, right? Like, what do I want in a game? It's not even so much of that. Like I said... Just do something interesting. Like for me, Prey was an interesting game. Like I said, that game, I think even till now, it's such a great game when I played it. It was, and like I said, I don't play like single player games all that often. I don't play multiplayer games all that often, or at least I had it in the past like 5-6 years. I'm actually recently right now playing Ratchet and Clank Rift in Time. I always wanted to play a game. Huge fan since like PlayStation days. Oh, amazing. But the reason I'm playing those games is because I have such a childhood, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nostalgia,
but it's a newer game though. I think it came out on the PS5, I think.
Okay.
And I know I'm gonna have fun in that game, so I bought it, right? There are certain games where I'm gonna buy it because I know I'm gonna play them. Like Grand Theft Auto, I don't need to don't even have to tell me anything about Grand Theft Auto. I'll buy it. Like, you don't have to show me no trailers. I know Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6 is going to be amazing. Right? So there's certain games that just get a pass. Like that Crash Bandicoot game. Yeah, this is getting a pass. I'm buying that. Huge Crash Bandicoot fan, right? Halo, probably because I know the multiplayer is going to be stupid fun.
Did you like Infinite?
I loved Infinite. I love the multiplayer. I love the multiplayer. See, there's certain games where I know like the multiplayer is gonna be like really fun. Like I can actually put my time in that.
Call of Duty?
No, Call of Duty is like one of those games where it's like the first 3 months maybe, it's fun, and then you get the sweats in there, and it's like, bro, I'm just chilling right now. Like I gotta go watch a movie with my friends. I just hopped on a game right now. Like I have a life.
Definitely sounds like old people problem.
No, I have a life. Like I'm sorry you're over here playing like this is your 9 to 5, but I actually have a 9 to 5.
Bro,
like, I'm chilling, bro.
I'd argue that people on there that are sweaty, some of them actually have a 9 to 5 and they play on their off time, and they just are naturally good at the game.
I wouldn't say I'm a sweat, but when I start cooking, I remember I used to wake up in the morning and do free for all hardcore and just smoke kids. I feel so good.
So my buddy and I were having a conversation about the best fighting games, and I brought up Mortal Kombat being S tier.
Okay.
And he said that was not S tier, and I said something along the lines of, it sells a lot, and it's the one game that created the ESRB, because parents were seeing this, government officials were seeing this, and they're like, wow, we can't have, there has to be some structure around gaming to inform parents that this game is rated M for mature or whatever. And so 2 questions. One, do you think that games are sort of trigger kids or adults to be violent? And 2, you can answer this one later, does the sales of a game define how good it is?
I want to start with the second question real quick. Do the sales of a game define how good it is? That's a hard question, I feel, because there's been games that have sold like very, very well, like Cyberpunk, right? That like everyone had it pre-ordered. It was horrible. There's so many bugs in it.
Was it horrible throughout the life of the game?
Well, they fixed it throughout, but the thing is, like, when a game first initially launched, like, you don't buy a car and then it's like you have issues on it, and it's a brand new car you bought, and everything's going bad on it. That's horrible. Why would you, like, you would never buy from that company again. When you buy a brand new car, at least the assumption is, I'm not gonna have problems till 2-3 years or maybe 5-6 years down the line, depending on what brand.
So companies have to get it right the first time.
Yeah, because we're putting our money in it. Like, regardless, I'm putting money, whether if it's me putting it in or, like, a parent putting in for a child, money is being put in. Someone put their hard-earned money in it.
Yep.
Right? So I think it's really hard to say if sales define the game. I think what's a better thing to define it is, like, the impact it has. Because, like, Halo has a huge impact. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's never played Halo.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let me give you my perspective on that.
Yeah.
Just on the content part, day one part. So you have a game like Halo Infinite that came out. It didn't have bugs, didn't have glitches or anything. It was cool when it came out. But every season it dropped new content and new skins, new playlists, new maps, right? So what it was on day one is completely different than how it is in day 365.
Yeah.
Right? So game developers now they're giving you like the base package and then adding from there. So if we take a Halo Infinite and we judge that, right? I'm fine with judging it days, years, months, weeks after its release. To see, like, hey, did that game get better?
Yeah.
Whereas if I judge it day one and completely write it off, I could be writing off one of my favorite games ever, right? I feel like, and so when you go back to Cyberpunk, right? Apparently that game had like the biggest rebound of any other game that I've heard of, because they fixed everything for the most part. They optimized better for the consoles.
Yeah. And
they dropped the DLC, which was even more excellent with Idris Elba.
You had to pay for it, though. Like, come on. After all that, you still want me to pay money? And I'm saying this as a guy who, like, actually started playing the game once I found out that they fixed it. And I thought it was fantastic. But for a game like Cyberpunk, like the type of open world it is, there was like very small things that I feel like they should have done in a game like that, considering like, you know, you can get those same type of features or gameplay types in Grand Theft Auto. Like the cops in Cyberpunk absolutely suck. You get 5 stars and run away and like they're gone. You don't really have that much of a.
So what? Like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, you get 2 stars. You get 3 stars.
Grand Theft Auto has a monopoly on cops now. Anytime a game does a cop thing,
what I'm saying is
you related to back to Grand Theft Auto.
I'm saying like there are small things like that. Like if I'm playing Cyberpunk, I want to, like, you can't just buy cars in Cyberpunk. Well, you can. It's weird. You get like a text message. I think you pick it up at a parking lot. Can't remember. I haven't played the game in a while, but with Grand Theft Auto, you remember when we played it, you could customize the car and everything. It's like those small little things that a user would want to do. Like if you're making the world look like Cyberpunk, like who would not want to customize a car in a world like Cyberpunk? Like doing futuristic add-ons on your car, that's something cool. I feel like they missed the mark on those type of things. It's those small things that in the long run people come back and play. Like you may not necessarily play Grand Theft Auto like the story mode, but you go online, right? People like online, and I wanted to go back to what you were saying earlier with Halo Infinite. Look at Grand Theft Auto, like that base online multiplayer is not the same what it was. It's not what it is now, right? There's so many new like DLCs they've added, new cars, guns, mechanics, all this sort of stuff, right? So yeah, like Cyberpunk, I feel like they fixed it. But
and you're mad that they charge you for DLC?
Like yeah, I don't know. Let me just say I don't feel compelled to buy the DLC at least. Like the game was fun. Don't get me wrong. When I re-downloaded it and I played it, I'm like, oh, it's a fun game. I enjoyed it, but I'm not thinking of buying the DLC. I'll probably just watch a video on YouTube of someone that's played it, watch a gameplay video, but I don't want to do that. You know.
Okay, now going to
the violent thing you said.
Yeah.
Can you say that question again? You said, do games make adults and kids violent? Or?
Yeah.
No.
Why? And why do people think so?
Well, I could make the same argument like, okay, well, people are watching violent movies. Does that make you violent? Right?
But the distinction is you're interacting with the game. You're choosing to shoot the person in Grand Theft Auto.
If you're getting your like personality development through a video game, I think you need help. Like,
why you say that?
Well, look, if you're reading a book, right, you're the main character and everything, right? The character in the book could be doing all sorts of things like that too, maybe killing someone or robbing a car, stealing a car, sorry, whatever it is, right? And same with video games, it's a different medium, right? Like you could be like Max Payne shooting people, but you know you're a bodyguard that's shooting people, right? I don't think necessarily that's making me violent, right?
You don't think you get influenced by the things you grew up with as a kid? Like if you're...
Well, see, that's the thing. Back when I was a kid, video games influenced me a lot, especially when I played like space video games and like Assassin's Creed with the history and everything. Like that's what influenced me. That I'm not sure. I can't speak for everyone else. If someone's playing video games and get influenced by the guns and stuff, I think that speaks on that person instead of the game. Because
really,
everyone's playing Call of Duty. Why is it not everyone buying guns and shooting everyone, right? Like everyone's playing Grand Theft Auto. Why isn't everyone stealing cars and
have we seen
people?
More shootings or less shootings?
I think that correlation can't be made with games because it's like, look, it's like saying this. It's like saying, the sale of ice creams is correlated to people dying, and the way someone can...
Is it not?
Well, no, people can misconstrue that by saying, oh, the sale of ice cream increases in the summer, or I think I said it wrong. Sale of ice cream in the summer equals people dying. And it was like this thing we did in like math class or like statistics class, or how you could, you know, skew the data. And it's because people are going to the beaches during the summer. There's ice cream parlors near the beaches. But the thing is, since there's more people in the beaches and the oceans and stuff, they get eaten by sharks. So you're saying that the fact that, you know, there's an increase of ice cream sales is directly correlated to people dying. It's like, no, people are just going to the beach in the summer and the sharks happen to be there and that's why they're dying, not because of the ice cream sales.
Causation, right? Versus correlation.
Yeah. So is there a?
I mean, but think about it. Anyone can hide that excuse if they are one of the many things that children do for entertainment, right? Movie companies can say, "Oh yeah, no, but there's games out there." Games can say, "Hey, well, there's movies out there." There's books can say.
I would say the final responsibility goes down to the parents. Like if you can't teach your kid what.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
If your kid gets cyberbullied, is that a responsibility of the parents?
First of all, you and I come from the generation of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And I didn't even think cyberbullying wasn't even a term back then.
Is cyberbullying attributed to bad parenting? Just think about it. Think about the answer.
I would say on the terms of the bully.
What does that mean?
Because a lot of bullies are only bullies because of like whatever they're going through at home, right? It's like someone bringing work home and then, you know, taking it out on their wife or kids or dog or whoever, whatever, right? And for that kid to feel some sort of dominance or superiority, like, you know, they would take it out on someone else online.
So the parent is to blame because the other kid got bullied.
No, I'm saying the parents to blame because their kid is the one bullying kids. Like, we've never bullied kids.
So you're saying it's not the parent of the victim.
I'm talking about the parent of the bully.
The parent of the bully's fault.
Because think about it. So let me ask you this.
No, wait. The reason why I'm asking, right, is because you're putting the blame on the parent for them being violent due to video games.
I'm not saying they're violent because of video games.
You said
no.
You said I put it on the parent. I put it on bad parenting if a kid grows up and likes guns and video games and blah blah blah. You just said that.
Yes. Okay. And
so you're blaming the parent when it comes down to violent video games, but you're not blaming the parent when it comes down to being cyberbullied online.
Why would I blame a parent because their kid's getting bullied? What do you mean? I asked
I'm not
getting this.
You said to me,
yes,
it's more on the parent that the kid gets influenced by guns and video games.
Yeah, you know.
And then I said, what about cyberbullying? Because can't you blame the parent for the parent of the victim for cyberbullying? Hey, why you have that kid on the internet? Why didn't you block him? Right? Isn't that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is it's both parents, right? That
both parents.
Well, I mean, you want answers from both parents. My answer initially was the parent of the bully. So you blame the parent of. So in other words, you'd blame. Let me re-say it then.
You'd blame the game developers
because no. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
I'm trying to get.
I know what you're doing.
Exact.
No. Look. Yes, I can say, oh, everyone needs to be blamed for their part. This person needs to be blamed for this percent. We're not getting into like who gets which percent of blame.
I'm not saying percentage. I'm saying who's to blame.
I'm saying who's to blame are the parents for their kids' behaviors, regardless of they're getting bullied or not getting bullied, where the case is. If they're playing video games, not playing video games, if they're watching violent movies or whatever the hell they're watching or doing.
Blame the parents.
It's the parents' responsibility to raise that child.
Now, is it the same parents' responsibility when the kid gets cyberbullied?
To take care of their kid, yes, it's their responsibility.
Is it their responsibility for the kid getting cyberbullied?
If they're getting cyberbullied in a way where it's affecting that kid, then yes, the kid should tell their parent.
Is it the parent's responsibility if their kid... Listen...
If your car gets keyed, whose responsibility is it?
Just like the kid who doesn't say that they're cyberbullied, or doesn't say that, oh, shooting this person in a video game excites me. I want to do it in real life. They may not say that to their parent.
Are you responsible if your dog gets bitten by another dog at a dog park?
I'm asking you. I'm isolating the variable right to exactly what you said. It's the parents' responsibility if their kids end up liking video games so much to the point where they shoot someone. You said it's the parents' responsibility, right? Is it the parents' responsibility when they're the victim of a cyberbully? By your logic, yes.
Why wouldn't it be the responsibility either?
So you'd blame the victim's parent for the victim being bullied.
I feel like kids don't speak to their parents enough, maybe.
But you blame the parents on that.
Well, who's responsible for watching over you? If you're like an 8-year-old kid, like you're like the ruler of the world or something, like you have autonomy over everything you do. Like, I feel like parents should, inquire with their kids' daily lives, and I don't think that's a nuanced age or new thing of thinking of. Forget games. Like, bullying is not something that's only unique to games. It can happen in school, right? So if you're sitting with your kid and your kid's like, oh yeah, this kid's picking on me, and you don't do anything about it or give your kid any pointers, then yes, I would say it's your fault for not giving your kid any tips or advice. Some parents are like, oh, you know what? The bully is probably doing this because of X, Y, Z. How about you go do this? Next thing you know, next day, oh wait, yeah, the bully and I are friends now because it was actually what you were saying, So regardless if you're getting bullied or not getting bullied, or your kid is the bully or is getting bullied, the parents are responsible for the well-being of that child and how that child turns out. I don't think you can say, oh, the video games made them violent. Okay, if you're seeing your kid is getting violent or getting crazy playing shooting video games, how about you don't buy him those games?
How do you know that you're going to pick up on those indicators? Just like, how do you know if you're going to pick up on the indicators?
I think it's even harder now. I think it's even harder now. In today's day and age, to like pick up on all those things because of all these like mediums we have, like, because there wasn't cyberbullying, or maybe not enough when we were kids, right? And when our parents were kids, there was no freaking internet, right? So it was easier, I'd say, as a parent. Probably actually there was an article I read, and I can't remember what exactly the name of the article was. I can get it to you. It's a fantastic read. But it was talking about how, like, back in the day in America, like, society was very well, like, mannered. Kids, you hear from, like, your grandparents, like, oh, yeah, we used to play outside till the lights got dark, and then, we come back home. Even I, like, when I was younger, I would, go ride on my bikes, lights come on, the street lights, come back home. The thing is, like, society, like, now, like, even my little sister, I feel, like, terrified sometimes of just leaving her outside playing in the front yard. I'd rather play in the backyard, right? Because I know, like, if I see someone going...
What's the point?
The point is that now society is just so, like, there's so many different accesses. Like, with back then, for you to get bullied in school... My example, like, it would just be in front. It'd be, like, right in front. Like, I would come up to you, like, give me your lunch money, right? You would see it happen and everything.
So there's more opportunities.
There's more opportunities for those type of things to happen. Like, cyberbullying on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. You get a following. And it's not just me bullying you in front of the class or whoever. It's me bullying you, like, if I'm on TikTok, to the whole world.
I got bullied for people misrepresenting the fact that I actually play PC games all the time. There's about 65,000 people.
I don't think you got bullied. You kind of instigated it by saying all those bad things about those people.
Bad things?
Yeah.
That's about, like, those people? I wasn't talking about anyone. I was saying
about PC.
I was saying my opinion.
See, now you're playing victim.
I was saying my opinion on why I like console.
There's certain opinions that evoke certain emotions. In certain ways.
But yeah, anyways. So, all that to say, blame it on the parent.
Yeah, because, okay, look, if you don't take care of your car, whose fault is it? The car's or yours? It's your fault, right? You have to clean your car, watch it, all this other thing, right?
I'm surprised you're blaming the victim.
Did I say I'm blaming the victim?
Yeah,
I didn't say I'm blaming the victim.
Oh, if you got bullied, why didn't you just...
No. What I'm saying, I said I'm blaming the parent. I never said I'm blaming the victim.
No. But that's the.
No. I didn't say I'm blaming them for those things. I'm saying the parent.
You don't think the parents are the victims of the child getting bullied at school?
What about them?
You don't think the parents of the children getting bullied at school are victims as well?
No, because they're not the ones getting bullied. Their child is getting bullied. And I never said I'm blaming the child. I said I'm blaming the parents.
I know. So you're saying that you have a son. He gets bullied.
Yeah.
You don't feel some type of way? Like, you don't feel like, yo, that's affecting me too?
That's what I'm saying. So if you don't do anything about it, then yes, I'm blaming the parents.
I'm not saying them... Like, listen, there's doing something about it and not. You can see it happen and not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
You could still be a victim. But I'm saying is it really your fault that some other kid decided to bully your kid? No.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
You just said it. You just said, why didn't the kid? Why didn't you see that the kid was getting bullied and do something about it? You can see that.
No. But
no.
You didn't remember. You didn't remember what I said. I said those. You have to sit down with your kid and talk.
You can listen.
What?
A kid can get bullied every day at school. Yeah. You can sit down every day with a kid and talk to them about this bully. You can talk to the school about this bully.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's your fault that it's happening. You're doing everything you can to prevent it.
So you're saying it's the kid's fault?
No, it's the bully's fault for bullying the kid. Like I feel like that's a disconnect, because why are you gonna blame the person who didn't do anything to the kid? Why are you gonna even blame the parents? You can say, yo, the parents should have been more proactive, but yo, you don't know how proactive or not the parents are. But at the end of the day, if you're
when earlier I said blame the parent of the bully, that didn't satisfy you, and then I said blame the parent of the kid getting bullied, that didn't satisfy you. Then you're using my words against me to say that I said blame the victim.
I'm saying to you,
you wanted to narrow it down, and I narrowed it down for you, and now you want to make it broader again.
I'm literally using the example for video games and juxtaposing that with an example of cyberbullying.
Okay.
Because when you blame the kid or you blame the parent or whatever, there's trade-offs you have to make. Right? When you blame the kid for something, right? It's like, oh, well, you know, the kid played too much video games. Oh, what? No. The parent is to blame, right? When you do that, right, you have to be careful how you change your blame game. And I don't know the answer. But I know the first person to blame is the bully. Going back to video games, though, I don't think the first thing to blame is the video game companies for making the game that caused the child to be violent. See, that's where the difference goes, right? I'm comparing the two, but I'm also saying there's a difference, right? Someone like Rockstar Games. They say, hey, listen, we got our game rated by the ESRB, 17 plus. The expectation is people who are 17 plus are playing their games. Yeah. If you're a parent that lets your kid play games that are rated M for mature, probably on the parent, in my opinion, right? The parents and then the kid grows up violent, boom. But, like you said, we grew up where there was a lot. First of all, like Mortal Kombat came out, and yada. Things were way more crazy. Actually, I'd even argue games are a little bit crazier nowadays too. But it's hard to pinpoint the blame when it comes down to video games. It's really hard. Because, the child is playing, right? And the child's interacting with the game, shooting the gun, blah, blah, blah. It's the equivalent for me. It's the equivalent of like playing laser tag. Yeah. You literally have a gun in your hands and you're shooting someone. But no one blames laser tag for the amount of assault rifle killings that are happening by teenagers out there, right? You literally have a gun in your hand and you're shooting someone with it. But when you're pulling a trigger on a controller, everyone starts flipping out. And they're like, nah, you gotta blame these game companies. Same with violent movies. It's you're sitting there and you're like folding your hands. Yet you're blaming, Fast and Furious for kids. And the reason you're exactly. The parents are blaming the video games because they don't want to have to deal with these things. It's like back in the day, like I see this online a lot. You know, back in the day when kids, in the parent-teacher conferences, the teacher would tell you, your parents like, hey, your kid's not doing X, Y, and Z, and then the parents would be like, hey, why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z, right? The parents would be like on the teacher's side. Now there's like this I don't know what it is now, but this new paradigm shift where your kid tells you you're like, oh, the teacher's doing this and that, and you come very entitled, like, oh, why is my kid not doing this? Why is your kid not doing this? Oh, my kid deserves this. My kid has the phone because XYZ, so why is my kid getting equal treatment? It's like you're asking the teacher to do so much. Right, like the teacher isn't there to babysit your kid and teach your kid every single way of life and every single personality trait. Like, no, the kid is going to get those personality traits from the parents, right, or from the guardians, whoever it is. If it's mom and dad at home, aunt and uncle, grandparents, whoever, older brother, whatever, right? The kid is going to pick up the personality traits from its environment, right? Environment.
And the thing,
games.
But no, this is the thing. like you said earlier, if the game's rated M and the parents want to blame the video games, and your kid's under the age, why are you blaming no, that I don't think you have a right to say blame the games, because the game explicitly said, hey, this is rated for M or older, or 17 or older, right? Why do you think you have a leg to stand on when you bought a game? And I know this happened before, because I remember when I was a kid, I my uncle told me to get God of War, and I'm like, shoot, it's rated M. My mom's probably not gonna buy it, and I'm like, hope the guy doesn't say anything. And then just as he's about to let the transaction go through, just so you know, this game's rated M for mature, meaning it has blah 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 in it, right? And I'm like, why do you do that, right? So they tell you, like at GameStop, they would tell you. So you're buying the game as a kid or as a parent, and then you're gonna blame the company. That's like you as a parent buying alcohol for your kid and letting your kid drink alcohol, and then blaming the alcohol company that your kid got drunk and like whatever. You're the one that.
So what you're saying is, a parent should not let their kid play games that are rated.
If they see, if the parents want a certain specific sort of outcome, right? Like you want your kid, think about like friends, right? You are your friend group, right? So if your friend group is a bunch of bums that don't do anything, then
you are the average.
Yeah, exactly. So. Parent, like I when I used to work at Bridgeport Hospital, I would see a lot of parents there. I would help them out with their computers there and everything, like the doctors and everyone that would be there. And they would like talk about their kids and everything, and a lot of these parents were like, yeah, no, I want my kid to become like this, or I want them to become either like, this sort of intelligence or whatever, right? I have, they only get an hour of gaming a day, right? They have 2 hours of piano practice. Like they want their kid to they want to mold their kid into something, for their future, right? Yeah, sure, let your kid play. But the thing is you as a parent, what do you want for your kid? It's not like a universal like mold that every parent wants their kid to be, but it's you as a parent. Like now this is your responsibility, right? How do you want to form your child? How do you, right? If you're gonna rely on like just the school system to do whatever, and you're just gonna come home and do whatever, be lazy and not interact with your child at all, you don't have a leg to stand on when your kid turns out to be something that you didn't expect.
Games can influence you to commit crimes in the future.
No.
You just said you can get influenced like that. It's just like being around like bad people.
Because you can get influenced by music. Like that's what I'm saying. There's so many things out there that you can also add into that as well. Why are we singling out games though?
I didn't say only games. I said, can games make you more violent in the future? You said no. Now you're saying yes.
When did I say yes?
Because you compared it to when kids hang around bad people. You're the average of your 5 friends. If you grow up with a lot of games...
No, I never said going up around games. No, what I was saying is...
You compared video games and... then you said...
No.
That's why you said it earlier. You just said...
I wasn't... Okay,
listen,
well, I should...
Listen,
okay.
You said... That's why, like when I said earlier, the ESRB, right? If your kid, if you get a game for your kid that's rated 17 or older, don't be surprised when he grows up in X, Y, and Z.
No. I should probably let me fix what I was, because that's not what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is, with that analogy, that kid, in the environment that the kid is born in, is going to become like that. So everyone at home is neglecting the child, or they don't really have a healthy home life, or whatever the case is, right? Maybe they're around a lot of bad influences. I'm not saying anything like, the influences are gaming and music and this. I'm just saying just bad influences, wherever you can think what bad influences are, right? If the kid is around those type of things, odds are the kid is going to be, attracted to those type of things as well. Because that's what the child knows.
So why'd you bring that up if we were talking about games?
Because what I was saying is, like, it's not gaming that's, like, technically, like, influencing that child. It's their surrounding, right? I was using that as an analogy. So does gaming influence? Maybe to a degree. I don't know. I've never done this, like, research. Maybe there's research out there that says, oh, yeah, it does, a 2% increase that your child's going to be X or whatever, right? I don't know. I'm not saying, like, oh, these are the numbers. I'm just saying from my own perspective, there's a lot more than video games. What I want to say though actually is, if you're just focusing on video games to say this was making kid violence, I think people are missing the mark completely.
Do you think it's an ingredient that adds to
it? Could be. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. Like I said, there's bigger like influences out there. There's bigger factors out there, right? It's like saying, I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like saying I'm trying to think of a really good analogy, but I'm not gonna go there. But you're saying like, oh, it's the video games that made a kid violent, right? But then if you were to look at the kid's home life, well, that contribute, right? But when you look at the kid's home life, you know, he's surrounded by like, you know, he lives in a really bad neighborhood and he's surrounded by gangs. Mm-hmm. So you're not gonna look at that. You're gonna say, oh no, it's the video games. You're not gonna maybe look.
What if he lived in a good neighborhood?
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not looking at their perspective.
And then, what if a kid grew up in a good neighborhood?
Then you as a parent, you have to like question. Okay, like where is my kid getting this from? Like
I'm
I
not
said,
saying as a parent. Mm-hmm. Does the video game influence that kid to become violent?
Like I said, it could. I'm not saying
it has the potential.
Could.
Okay.
It could, but I wouldn't. And the thing is, the reason I'm saying it could is because I've played video games since I was 5. I've never once thought like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do whatever I saw in Grand Theft Auto.
Agreed.
Right. So for me, like I don't know what it is with these. Maybe it's something with the new kids. Maybe it's the way they have like their new like how everyone.
And
has
games are more realistic nowadays.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm comparing it to. I'm comparing it to like I also want you to remember. I'm comparing it to like my paradigm when I used to play video games.
Yeah. By the way, it's only your opinion. Yeah. I'm not saying get out facts. Yeah. I'm saying your opinion, your perspective. And by the way, I agree with the same perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think. To be honest, I'll go as far as to say it won't influence you at all in any way to go out and shoot somebody or become violent. If you're a violent kid, you're born that way and you were influenced
it's your influence.
By different things.
See
but games are not part of that influence, in my opinion.
You don't think games are part of the influence? Well, no, because see, this is what I want to say now, though. Because a child's violent and he gets that aggression out in video games, say he doesn't have the capabilities of doing that anymore, how else would the kid get that aggression out?
What do you mean, if he doesn't have the capability?
Like say he's a violent child by nature or by his environment, and him playing video games is the best way for him to get that out. That like expressions, like I just want to kill people, I just want to shoot them, right, or whatever it is, I want to run people over and get auto, right? What if he doesn't have the capability of doing that anymore? Like say someone took away his Xbox or whatever. How else do you think the kid's gonna? Don't you think in that instance the gaming was the what like kind of influenced him to do those things?
If anything, it prevented him from doing it earlier.
Because the reason I say this because there are games out there that influence me in different ways, like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Because when you play it, you understand like numbers, right? You understand.
Does it make you violent?
No, it didn't make me violent. But what I'm saying is it still influenced me though, right? And what I mean by that, it's like because in the game, you're looking at numbers, looking at the charts, looking at the data analytics of, oh my god, I gotta get my park rating up to here, I have this much in debt, I gotta do X, Y, and Z to increase my net revenue, right? You're doing all these things and it's influencing you. And if you do that sort of stuff often or you find it fascinating, well, hey, you know what, good news for you, there's actually jobs out there that do that type of stuff. Or hey, maybe you could become an entrepreneur yourself because you kind of were in like a sandbox mode, right, in that game where it wasn't your own money, right? You were experimenting. Yep. The same could be said with violent video games. It's like, oh yeah, this is how you steal a car in Grand Theft Auto. I should do that in real life too, so
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Going back to the sales though, which makes the game good or not, I think my opinion, sales are an indicator. I don't think that it defines if a game's ultimately very good or not.
100%. I agree.
Because you have a game like Marvel Rivals, which is a really good game in my opinion, right? It sold very well. Sold as free to play.
You still haven't invited me to play.
Anyways, we'll talk about that. It's a very good game. It was a very good experience going in. It was quick to find a game. The characters are really balanced. Super good. It sold very well. But it took a lot of stuff from Overwatch.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's a good game, but that game copied this other game. Not copied, but took heavy influences from Overwatch, right? Overwatch was a really good game too. But it didn't sell as much or didn't have the same hype as Marvel Rivals. And so for me, I think that's an indicator, but I think what ultimately determines what a good game is like you said, the impact. The impact on society, on gaming, on everything. Like, if you're a game like PUBG, again, it didn't sell as much as Fortnite, but it paved the way for Fortnite.
PUBG revolutionized Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I remember I had it when it was popular.
It's like big in India, I think.
Yeah, it's huge in Pakistan.
Yeah.
It's huge there. Like, I think they banned it or something at one point. I can't remember, but yeah, they play PUBG Mobile or whatever it is now.
Last topic.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself gaming in the next 5 to 10 years, or do you think you're gonna stop?
That's a really good question. I just want to say, if there are any Overwatch players out there, I'm trying to find more people to play with, because I'm hearing mixed reviews now. People say it's boring. People say it sucks. People say it fell off. I remember I used to play Overwatch too. I had fun. I played with my friends, So yeah, there's people out there, maybe comment that you guys play, or if it's good or bad or not. I don't know. I know I could just watch a YouTube video explaining those things, but I want to hear your opinions so that.
Do you think you will be playing games in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yes.
Do you think?
I know.
Because right now, from what I'm hearing, from how you're talking about games, seems like it's a steady decline of activity, right? And there's probably times when you didn't play games at all. You think you're just gonna keep playing, but at a lower rate, or you think it's gonna shoot back up again?
Right now, it's shot up for me. I've definitely been playing more games in the past 2 months, 3 months, than I have in the past 3-4 years. The past 3-4 years, it'd be not that I completely stopped, but I'd play here and there. Definitely I'd play a lot more multiplayer, but now I'm getting back in a lot of single player games that I haven't had time for before. So I don't think I'll ever be in that situation where I'm just gonna completely stop playing, because these games the games I'm playing now, I wanted to play back then. I didn't have time back then to play those single player games. I have time for multiplayer because like I said, it's you get in a match real quick, play a game, and then be out if you're busy, right? So now I have time. I can play all those games. I have a backlog. It's like with movies, you have a backlog of movies that you want to watch. Same with video games. So yeah, as long as they keep making fun games, and like I said, yeah, it's a subjective term, right? But as long as they just keep making new games, and Xbox doing its thing on Game Pass, I don't see why I won't be playing games in the next 5 to 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's something that's so ingrained in me. No matter how, I could stop playing games for 5 years, I'll still come back to it. I've been playing since I was 5, I think. I remember my uncle got me a PlayStation, and it had Tekken 3 on it. And I think a few months later, I got Crash Bandicoot on it as well. He got it for me, and that was the end of it. That right there solidified my whole. I've been gaming since then. I never looked back.
That's good. For me, yeah, when I first played, I think the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Aladdin. It was my uncle's. I have not stopped playing since then. There was a time when I was in college. It was near the end of my undergraduate degree.
Yeah.
There was a time where I was just I was doing really good, and then I started slacking a bit, and I was I need to lock in, and so it was a good I would say 6 months to a year where I was not playing at all. But once I got done with school, once I got my MBA, I just never stopped.
Yeah.
I've always played in some form. Even maybe around this podcast stuff, I stopped playing with my buddies, but whether it's by myself or with my friends, I've always played games, and I need to I need to get this needle out of me at some point.
Of games?
Yeah, well, the amount I play, because I want to, once I get to a point where I'm self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And maybe years from now when I'm not working my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm just strictly doing the podcast or whatever I in different income streams, and I'm able to have more time to play, I'm gonna lock in. Who knows? Maybe I'll make content around games, right? I want to get to that point first, though, and sort of what I've been playing a lot lately. Especially, like, I just got back in Valheim again. I've been playing Marvel Rivals heavy. Playing Call of Duty a bit. And then I just... Even Hunt Showdown. I just picked up another game. Old one, though, but...
Yeah.
Just playing with my buddies all the time now. It's like, I need to just stop for a bit, get this other stuff figured out first, and then come back.
I think with... see, that's the thing with video games. I don't think... Especially with, like, you and I don't think we can get away from gaming because...
No, you're right.
Because no, because when you have those like really fun story mode games and you finally have time to play it, you're locked in. You're in that universe. Like right now, I'm playing Ratchet and Clank. I love it.
Prey was
exactly Prey too, right? But on the other end, on the other spectrum, multiplayer games are just so fun. Like your friends are, you know, miles apart, maybe states apart, maybe countries apart. You don't know, right? But you guys can just hang out and play Grand Theft Auto or play Destiny 2 or Call of Duty, wherever it is, right? Human Fall Flat, you know?
You brought up a good point, because what people don't understand is that on the outside, it looks like we're sitting there on the computer.
Yeah.
And we may have a headset on, maybe not. And that we're just sitting there, like almost the equivalent of watching TV all day.
Yeah.
So a lot of the older heads would be like, he's just sitting there all day playing. When I have the headset on, and I'm locked in, I'm in a different world.
Yeah.
Right? It's like reading a book and you're captured in that world and you sort of everything around you just still. On top of that, you're in a world where now you have your buddies around you.
Yeah.
So you could be in a Discord server, like chatting it up with friends. Me and them debate about, you know, Trump versus Kamala versus, you know, being American versus being a Canadian, whatever it is, right? We debate about everything. And that is my community when a lot of my other friends are busy with, you know, different things, school, work, whatever. I have a whole community of people that I can socially engage with, play video games online.
Yeah.
And it's just like getting people together to go to laser tag, right?
Yeah.
It's like you get together, you play a game, and then you kind of, you know, go off and do something else, right?
Yeah.
Me and you, we used to go out to eat, go get dinner with our other buddies. Then we come back and we hop on Grand Theft Auto to go climb up a mountain. And we bring our bikes and ride down.
Exactly.
Like, that it's just another layer of entertainment, but it complements your life. It doesn't take away.
See, I wouldn't even say entertainment. I think it's just more of like that community, like you said. It's like back when we were younger, you know, it'd be like snow days or something. Hop on the Xbox. There's no snow days on the Xbox, right? The internet's still working, at least, you know, hopefully. Just play there, right? Like, you don't have to end your hangout session with your friends. I remember back, this is really far back. I think we just started college, and we got, like, Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Future Soldier or something.
Graw?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I remember we all went to like GameStop and bought it at the same time, and we're like, we can't wait to go home and play it. Like,
that's awesome.
It's just furthering that like you said, community, right? And there's a point you said, and I forgot now. I'm drawn to a blank, but that's the thing. Like I said, you and I don't think gonna stop gaming because it's another way, at least for us, because we're used to it, right? Maybe for someone that's older than us, like our parents are not gonna understand it. Like, wait, you're hanging out in a video game? Like, what the heck, right? But we were, like, you know, born in this sort of like hybrid world where it's not weird for us. Like, oh, you want to hang out? Yeah, I can't really go outside, but you know, I have some time. Let's play Grand Theft Auto. Okay, cool. You know,
you never know, man. You know, next we're gonna be Monopoly men buying virtual property on some server, and we're gonna sell it for $1 million, and then we'll be chilling.
I need Ready Player One to happen. Oh my god,
we'll be Ready Player Two.
Happen. Ready Player 2.
All right, guys, thank you for watching.
Like and subscribe, please. Share with your friends.
Share with GameStop.
With your family. With your neighbors.
Don't share with your coworkers though.
Don't share with your bullies. Confront them. Actually, I'm not giving anyone any advice. I'm not trying to get canceled. But everyone just work on bettering yourself.
And blame your parents.